So you are looking at Morgan State University in Baltimore, Maryland right now, where 5 people have been shot just within the last 30 minutes. We learned the campus is no longer sheltering in place, but as far as we know, no suspects are in custody. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Right now, we know there are 3 reported shooters who were firing into a crowd of people celebrating homecoming. We also know police told a CBS reporter at the scene at least one of the shooters was firing from a dorm room. Police are going room to room searching for the suspects at this time, but they do say this is no longer considered an active shooter situation. But there is still no word on a suspect or suspects in custody. This is a developing situation. We will continue to bring you more updates just as soon as we learn them. Well, tonight, Nadine Woodward and Lisa Brown shared a stage and their plans to run Spokane if elected mayor in November. The forum was hosted by Spokane's NAACP chapter and KYRS Radio. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk brings us the highlights from the downtown library.
Nadine Woodward and Lisa Brown shook hands as they got on stage tonight and spent about an hour answering questions. Tonight's forum comes 35 days ahead of the November election.
In particular, in public safety and in our unhoused population, most people would tell you the situation has gotten worse over the last 4 years.
We've made some sweeping accomplishments during incredibly challenging, unprecedented times, a health pandemic and a lockdown.
Mayoral candidates Lisa Brown and Nadine Woodward were given 90 seconds to answer some of Spokane's most pressing issues, like the homeless crisis and their plans to keep people warm this winter.
Well, unfortunately, I won't be able to implement until after the election if I'm elected, but let's do the basic math. There are at least over 2,000 unhoused people, and there are 1,000 emergency beds right now.
Brown says she would work with nonprofits, the business and faith community to quickly pull together additional options to get people inside. Woodward talked about additional capacity at the Trent shelter during extreme weather events, but told the audience,
we will never have enough beds, and that's why the city of Spokane has joined cities up and down the West Coast and in the Ninth Circuit to have the U.S. Supreme Court listen and hopefully overturn Martin v. Boise, because we are having to dedicate most of our funding and resources on low barrier beds instead of other programs like transitional housing that have better outcomes.
Candidates were also asked if they believe in transformative and restorative justice and how a tough on crime stance relates to that.
I heard many, many testimonies from people who finally changed their life when they had to face the consequences of crimes that they had committed.
We're at a place where there are racial disparities throughout our criminal justice system, and we have to dismantle them.
And later this month, Nadine Woodward and Lisa Brown will debate inside the KREM 2 studios. Tune in on Thursday, October 26th. Mark Hanrahan and Whitney Ward will moderate that debate, which will air uninterrupted on KREM 2 and our digital platforms between 7 and 8 p.m. Reporting from the downtown Spokane Library, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News. And just into our newsroom tonight, Spokane police are searching for a missing vulnerable man. Take a look at your screen. This is 62-year-old Roger Herndon. Police say he suffers from dementia. He was last seen near Hamilton in Illinois. If you see him or know anything about his whereabouts tonight, please call Crime Check. That number is right there at the bottom of your screen. We have new details tonight surrounding a shooting that killed an 8-year-old last week in Deer Park. According to a search warrant obtained by KREM 2, Spokane County 911 got a call from a woman saying that one of her grandchildren had been shot. Court documents state the oldest of 3 brothers told the officers the 8-year-old found a gun in a dresser drawer while they were playing, but the older brother took it and set it aside. That's when the middle brother, according to court documents, grabbed the gun and cocked it, causing it to then fire and hit the youngest brother. We are still working to confirm what, if any, charges will come from this. We are choosing not to reveal any names until that happens. Now back to a story that we broke just hours ago. Crews still working to clean up after a car crashed into the side of a building in North Spokane earlier this evening. According to Spokane fire officials, the driver suffered a medical emergency while behind the wheel and drove into a Mako auto body shop on North Addison and East Francis. We are still working to confirm the driver's condition tonight. We will continue to bring you updates just as soon as we learn them.
Well, in less than 24 hours, an emergency alert will sound on every phone nationwide. FEMA and the FCC announced the plans last month to sound the alarms on October 4th, 2023 at 11:20 a.m. our time. FEMA says this test will ensure the systems continue to be effective means of warning the public about emergencies, particularly those on the national level. That would include national security events like a terror attack, missile threat, or other major public safety issues. All right, let's talk weather. We're about to trade in the fall weather for blue skies and temperatures back in the 70s, or at least close to them. Let's get right over to KREM 2's Cody Proctor to find out more. Cody?
Well, Mark, yeah, exactly. We're going to be seeing those temperatures warming up into mostly the 60s this week. And then towards the end of the week, we start to see them warm up even more. But even tonight right now, pretty comfortable outside. 56 degrees over at the Spokane Airport. Winds are coming out of the southwest at 14 miles per hour. So a little bit breezier compared to earlier. Across our region, mostly in the 50s. Looks like Sandpoint right now is in the low 40s. The Wenatchee in the low 60s. And we're keeping track of our weather pattern right here. This ridge of high pressure moving in looks to warm up our temperatures for the next few days. We're looking to stay pretty sunny and warm all the way into our weekend plans. Now for the next 12 hours, for the most part, pretty quiet. Looks like we'll start things off tomorrow morning in the low 50s. Start to see mostly clear skies tomorrow. And then the next 3 days, tomorrow could be in the upper 60s. Friday might put us into the low 70s. And it could get even warmer for your weekend.
The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
For the first time in its history, the U.S. House stripped its leader of his job. Republican Kevin McCarthy was ousted as Speaker of the House today after Florida Republican Matt Gaetz put the idea on the table a little more than 24 hours ago. McCarthy spoke tonight announcing he will not seek another run at the position, but also indicating he does not feel that his work is done.
I'll never give up on the American people. That doesn't mean I have to be Speaker to do what I have to do for the American people.
The House turns to a temporary Speaker, North Carolina Republican Patrick McHenry, until a formal vote occurs to choose a new Speaker. And now to our Night Beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Tonight, we now know the identity of a man killed in a shooting over the weekend in North Spokane on East Hawthorne Road. Deputies say John Franklin and his son got into an altercation with a security guard on federal land. According to the Spokane County Medical Examiner, Franklin died after being shot in the torso. Friends of the Franklin family tell KREM 2 News Franklin and his son were in the area near the Bonneville Power Administration to ride dirt bikes. That's when the security guard approached them for trespassing on federal property. Deputies say witnesses told them the two men got violent with the guard. Josh Hitchens is a friend of the family. He says he found out about the shooting through social media.
I actually text John immediately, just saying, there's some crazy stuff going around and hope you guys are okay. Not even knowing that, that he was already gone.
Tonight, very little is known about the fight or the moments leading up to the shooting. We are working to confirm more details. We'll bring them to you just as soon as we can. Meantime, a young woman is responding to Scraps tonight after her cat was taken in and euthanized over the weekend. Scraps says it made the decision with the cat's suffering in mind and within policy guidelines. But Taya Nelm says she was never told any of that information when she went to reunite with her cat.
If they did all this blood work, if they did all this, it should be shown like, oh, there's poison. There was poison in his blood. This is what happened. But none of that was provided. None of that was given.
In a statement, Scraps says the cat was, quote, actively dying on the exam table. The cat also was not microchipped, so Scraps says they didn't know who to contact about the decision. The Spokane County Communications Director tells KREM 2 if the cat was healthy and unchipped, he would have been put up for adoption. The Idaho Transportation Department lowered the speed limit through two construction areas along I-90 in North Idaho. You may remember a head-on crash between two semi-trucks near one of those construction zones about 3 weeks ago. That was just one of many crashes that raised concerns for drivers in the area. Originally, ITD said it wanted to keep the 70-mile-per-hour speed limit in place just to keep traffic moving along. But now all current I-90 work zone areas will be 55 miles per hour. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com.